Hello, my name is Sifu Mark. I'm coming to you today. We're going to discuss, this is the first of several videos that we're going to be putting out that are going to basically look at the Wing Chun forms. And I believe we're going to do also this year, we're going to do some on Chi Sao, which is another Wing Chun program within Wing Chun. So for those of you who have never, this is the first video you're watching, I teach Krav Maga. For the last several years, I've been running Krav Maga schools in the United States, in New York. I have several different instructors, as well as a large team of instructors. So the goal has always been not for me to be the guy. Oh, it's Mark Massari, it's the guy. No, I'm just one guy on the team, but what I'm going to bring to you is kind of some of my background, some of my expertise that comes outside of Krav Maga, and I'm going to show you in some of these videos how you can help, how doing some of this stuff can help you in your Krav Maga. So the first thing we're going to look at is the first form of Wing Chun. Alright, so for those of you who already have a Krav Maga program or even an APLE Krav Maga program, I believe the forms for adult classes are very difficult to do. I used to do this as a Wing Chun school prior to Krav Maga, and the forms are always something adults have a hard time with forms, you know? So what I would recommend, if you're going to offer this as a class in your school, offer a separate class and call it Forms and Chi Sao. And let that be your Wing Chun add-on program, and you could charge a little bit extra for that if you want. And if you're interested in becoming a certified Wing Chun instructor, we could help you out with that. But basically, the problem with most curriculum and most traditional martial arts systems is there's too much. There's too much stuff to learn. So what I found it works best, actually I had a Kung Fu brother of mine, Jerry Trapani, who was a Sifu in a karate school. And what would happen is they would tell everybody you'd have to become a black belt in karate first, and then you would begin to learn Wing Chun. All right, so I think that's a good model, and I've watched his students that by the time they reached him to start learning Wing Chun, they already had a very solid base of foundation in the martial arts, great kicks, quick reactions, you know, discipline, all that stuff was already there. So I basically am doing that with our Krav Maga system. So for the last 5 or 6 years, I have really not had a Wing Chun program. I kind of put it on the back burner, except for having a class here and a class there, and even in the last few years, we really haven't done much. Those of you who know me, you know, I pretty much teach Wing Chun. People ask about, when's Wing Chun class? I'm like, privately, you know, that's pretty much it. So my goal is to be able to start certifying some Wing Chun guys to teach different levels, you know, Silam Tao, Chum Kyu, Buji. These are the first 3 forms. Then you also have the dummy form, you have the swords, and you have the pole form. The pole typically comes before the swords being the last form. And the dummy form, a lot of people don't call it a form, they just call it a set of drills, basically. There's 8 different sets. So anyways, so I'm going to explain to you, we're going to start with the first form. I'm going to just go through the first step, and then we're going to start talking about application. Alright, it starts out, feet together. Alright, so let's just explain what that means real quick. So, let me do it from the side too, so you see it. Alright, a lot of meat and potatoes in here. People are like, oh really, it looks goofy, this and that. People who are non-Wing Chun people are going to say, well, how does that help you in the fight? This is not about a fight. This is about when you learn how to draw, when you learn how to write letters, you trace lines, right? That's how you learn how to draw your A over and over and over again. So that's what a form is. It's a form of practice to get you to give precise technical delivery, you know, of what you're doing in defending and attacking. So how it works in our system is what would happen if you're learning in a forms class, your teacher would come around, you'd practice it over and over and over, and you learn one section at a time, and then your teacher would come around, he'd critique. You know, for example, like the first part where you're doing this, if you're doing this, he'd say, nope, it's got to come into the center first, and then come straight out, and you're aiming with your bottom knuckles here. All right, and so these are things, little details. All right, Silam Tao actually means little ideas. These are not just ideas like, hey, I got an idea. It's like concepts. It's the philosophies and concepts of Wing Chun are built into the forms. So anyways, I'm going to start breaking it down for you for the non-Wing Chun guy. The first one is obviously we pay respect. You know, some people don't have this in their system, but basically the right hand is a fist, the left hand is covers, right? Some people use this as a religious thing. I don't. What I like about it is that if you put your hands up, this is the universal sign for fighting. This means stop fighting, all right? Wushu is a word that kind of is a broad term that covers Chinese martial arts. Wushu means stop fighting skill. The idea as a martial artist is that you should get better and better at not fighting. So if you've been in martial arts for 5 or 10 years and you're fighting and you're not a professional fighter, you're not getting paid to do it, there's a problem. Either your instructor is not teaching you the right way, or you're not somebody who should be trusted with more information. So that's something that a lot of modern martial arts don't even talk about. There is a relationship between the student and the teacher, where at any time the teacher feels like that student is not implementing that training well, the training should stop. And that was the other reason why martial arts was given out slowly to students, because if you gave them everything, hey, just show me how to shoot a gun, I want to know how to shoot bad guys. You let everybody into that course, you teach them how to do it, now you might have just created a monster, all right? So that's why the stuff that was considered the most lethal was always saved for later over time. So anyways, couple things when you bow, right? In any system, that just means you show respect. You show respect for your teacher, you show respect for the art, you show respect for the people who have put in the hard time before you, you know, either in self-defense or in serving in the military or wherever your system comes from. Then this is where the application begins, okay? So pay respect, right? Hands here. At the same time my hands come here, my knees bend, okay? This means in a fight, you should always stand with your knees bent, right? You should never stand straight up like this. If you stand straight up and somebody hits you, you're going to fall to the ground, okay? So you bend so that you have a good base, all right? The other thing that happens, I'll show you from the front. This is like a measuring tool. For some people who don't understand why we do this, this is just simply to use your own body as a measuring tool for precision. My stance, if I measure, my feet come out and then my heels come out, the idea of this is that my fighting stance will be wider than shoulder width, okay? Whether you're standing neutral in a fight, and in Wing Chun we have a stance called it's kind of like a half-bladed stance, where you're basically neutral, but then you shift, all right? It can be this way or this way. Then you have your bladed stance, which is like this, right? 1 foot back, 1 foot in front. Typical boxing stance. Your strong side is usually back, right? Your weak side is in front. So these are the basic stances. These are basic stances in boxing. These are basic stances in karate, other systems as well. Now some are deeper than others, but I like to say comfortable stance is just slightly wider than shoulder width, and that's what this form teaches, okay? So here, 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 all right? So next, this also teaches you to keep your hands up in a fight. That's all it teaches. It doesn't teach. And so next what we're doing is here, hands come down, hands come up and back. In Krav Maga, we call these techniques. First of all, what this is not. I've seen guys and instructors teach this as this is an X block for a kick. This is not what it is. All right, somebody kicks at you, boom. It could be one hand, okay, or one hand. You don't want to do this because you're still in the line of fire or the center line. All right. Same thing here. You don't block. There's nothing. This side I've heard people teach. Oh, this is breaking a choke. No, it doesn't work like that. You don't want to do that. So what this is two things. One, it shows the center line or center point from your body, and also like if I have Bob here as my bad guy, all right, there's a line between me and Bob that we share called center line. Okay, center point is mine. Center line, shared center line, is between the two people. Okay, so when he's trying to punch me, he's punching on center line. Okay, so that's what the X is partially symbolizing. Also, there's a symmetry involved. The symmetry of just basically saying left side, right side, ambidextrous, all right? Wing Chun, we don't have, like the difference between Wing Chun and boxing, right? So in boxing, you would know automatically that I'm a right-handed fighter, okay? If I stand like this, I'd be a left-handed fighter because this is my jab hand and this is my cross hand, right? So in Wing Chun, we don't have that. we have neutral, what some people call neutral stance. I like to call it neutral stance. Basically, this is where a lot of fights begin. You're standing like this. You don't start the fight this way. You start the fight like, hey, you know, blah, blah, blah. You have space. And then now the fight begins, okay? I personally believe in 3 stances that should be trained as a fighter. The neutral stance, you have to be able to start a fight out of neutral stance. You have to be able to start a fight out of the fighting stance, and also your weak side or less dominant fighting stance, okay? Those are the main 3 stances you should practice. If you're good, if you've spent 5 years in boxing, you should just switch. Switch it up. Learn how to fight like a lefty. Learn how to fight out of neutral stance. Also in Krav Maga, other positions you need to learn how to fight out of is sitting, car, bus, train, on the ground, starting from the ground. So you never know where you're going to be when you're in a fight. You're not going to necessarily be here with your hands up. Okay? So this teaches the center line theory. It also is, these are the blocks, right? In Krav Maga, we call these blocks what? 360 block. The whole idea of a 360 block in Krav Maga is that, look, it's one block. It's one block, it's one block, it's one block. If you were to take and draw a line down and a line across, this block covers this area. This block covers this area, right? Boom, right? And you also can turn your body to get away from it, okay? So this is called 360 block in Krav Maga. I'm not going to, because we are looking at application of Krav Maga, I'm not going to go into a lot of the details of the names of the Wing Chun moves. And again, even if we were to have this all in this rally, you know, for Americans, like, oh, these are the Israeli names. There's very few words we use in Krav Maga that are not English, because most people speak English. In a fight, you know, obviously, I mean, in my area, I should say. If you're watching this in Israel, you'd be like, what are you talking about? So then don't worry about learning them in English, learn them in Hebrew, right? If you're learning from China, learn them in Mandarin or wherever your language is. So that's the whole idea. The words are less important than the application. That's what we're talking about now. 360 block means I can block like all sides with the same block, okay? Next, all right? This is, oh, by the way, so this is the height, proper height of your stance. This is proper width of your stance, all right? This says, when I attack, my hand comes into center line first and shoots straight out. This is assuming that I would be standing neutral in this situation, right? I want to drive out of my center line. If I'm bladed like this, I still can fire out of my center line here, okay? So that's what that first section means, all right? Next section. So you typically would have students practice that for a good amount of time, and then you teach them the next section, all right? So let's do the next section. So I'll start from the beginning too, so you can kind of see how it all kind of puts together. Here's section 2. All right. Now I'm going to do it from the side. I'm also going very fast. In this form, you should take, every move should be about 8 seconds, right? So you start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That's a military saying. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Also, you try not to pull your hand back, you try to pull your elbow. These are like the little corrections that you just can't learn on a video. You have to have an instructor for this. All right? Here, I'm just going to go a little bit faster. Back. All right? This could be our vertical sweep. It's also reverse vertical sweep. All right? This hooking hand, is used a lot in some of our gun defenses and some of our weapon systems or weapon defenses in order to get control, okay? This part here, so, you know, some of this I'll have to show you with a partner, but basically the direction it's traveling, this is going out, this is coming in, okay? This circle motion is actually, if you're on one side, circle to the other side. If you're on the live side, how to get out to the dead side circling out to the live side. Same thing, all right? So depending on what situation you need, you can use this circling hand, all right? And you can see it on the dummy, you know, it's done a lot on the dummy. Now some people say, oh, that's not gonna work. I can definitely show you how it's gonna work if you come learn some stuff from me. One thing we say in martial arts is that if your cup is full, the teacher, no matter how good he is, has nothing to teach you. If your cup is empty, you can learn something even from the worst teacher. Even from a student you can learn. Somebody who's your student or your child, you can actually learn from them if you have an open mind or empty cup to learning. So, also, one thing I would say about the CT707 Krav Maga system, when I trained with Nir, he was the only one I ever seen to have what he calls weapon and target flow drill. For those of you who know what that is, it's more than just a drill. It really is like a kata. Now, he might be upset that I said that, but everything I've seen in the martial arts, I believe this is one of the reasons that his system seems to work so effectively is because he has this Krav Maga kata or form that kind of ties all the concepts together, and that's what the forms are for, okay? Again, another application for forms, you can teach them to your kids, and you don't even have to worry about the explanations. It's just something to teach them. If you have a student for 10 years, you can teach them everything you know. If you have a student for 2 years or 1 year or 6 months, I think it's kind of a waste of time to teach this stuff. All right? I'd rather teach you how to get out of a choke. I'd rather teach you how to defend against a gun. But how you block a punch using a vertical sweep can be, the way I do vertical sweep, I don't do it correctly just because I learned it in a Krav Maga instructor training. I do it correctly because I've spent years and years and years honing this skill, learning where the proper way to do it, and also in static drills over and over and over again, okay? So that hundreds and thousands of times repetition is what makes the Krav Maga good. So, anyways, next section. All right, I'm gonna do it this side first. Oh, I went too far. All right, let me back up. All right, I'll do it the other side. I'm just going to stop. I actually did 2 sections. I'm going to stop at the 1 section. So here, here. Again, a couple things about this. You see 2 hands doing stuff together. All that means is that you can do it on the left side and the right side. It means it's interchangeable, all right? It's ambidextrous. Wing Chun and Krav Maga has to be ambidextrous because of the fact that if it's not, there's no telling that you're going to be like, you're a right-handed fighter. I'm going to be in a position where I can blade out and the fight begins. You might not be able to. Oh, my right punch is so strong. Well, your right hand might be holding a bag of something. You might have to attack with your left hand, all right? You might have both hands occupied, and you don't have time to get into a stance. You just have to drop with a knee until you can drop your stuff and then go ahead and attack the bad guy. So every situation is different, all right? This is tracing. That's what the forms are. They're tracing the correct technical approach, all right? This is the difference between what is self-defense for? What is Krav Maga for? What is Wing Chun for? Self-defense, right? Protecting yourself, protecting your loved ones. EMTs learn, actually basic CPR can be learned by anybody. If you want to learn more about it, you become an EMT. If you want to learn more about it, you go into nursing. If you want to learn more about it, you become a doctor. You see what I'm saying? So in self-defense systems, there is these different levels of proficiency. What I've always been taught, and I hold to, is that the stuff you learn first is the stuff that's going to save your life. Now that only works if the stuff you're teaching your students is the most important stuff. So with kids classes, I like to teach the forms and kind of sprinkle them through the Krav Maga training. With the adult program, separate class. Some people just want to learn how to get out of a choke. Some people just want to learn how to defend against a knife. Show them the technical stuff later if they're still interested once they've hit their black belt, all right? Or offer a separate class. So anyways, so this basically section means I can attack and defend all sides, kind of what we were just talking about. You know, if the guy comes at me, boom, I can defend here, or if it's coming from this side, I can defend here. This is like a check. We have checks in Krav Maga, okay? A downward check, that's all it is, all right? You don't always use this. Some of these techniques we use so rarely in self-defense that that's another reason why you don't want to waste a whole lot of time learning the 1,000 different things. But if you're going to do brain surgery or heart surgery on somebody and become a surgeon, there's a lot more curriculum that needs to be studied. I personally believe if you're going to spend more than 5 years in the martial arts, then at a certain point where you feel, and you'll know, like I feel saturated in the martial arts, or where I am currently in the system that I'm in, that's where you need to start doing seminars and other things to kind of keep the knowledge, keep things going. All right, if you stalemate in your martial arts, then whatever you're teaching your students becomes stale as well. All right, keep your little ideas, keep yourself open to new little ideas. All right, so that's what Silam Tao is. That's the first half. I've been very short with it, but again, let me just, so I'm blocking the side, I'm defending from behind, I'm defending in front, okay? There's a lot of applications. Some of the stuff I would only show in a private training or in a seminar, because it's just going to take hours to explain some of this stuff. I don't have that much time on a video, so, you know, this could be elbows, right? Also could be showing, I strike to the eye, I can use the eye strike to the side, all right? Here, this is our proper fighting stance, right? This is how we hold our hands in a fight, all right? There's other things it could be as well, all right? So this is basically a check moving up, check, downward check, right? Finger strikes to the eyes, those all exist in Krav Maga. So that's pretty much it. I'm just going to keep it simple and sweet. Let me just do one more time from beginning to end. This is the part I would practice repetitively. And even if you don't know the meaning behind it, if you're practicing it, actually your body is learning to do the technical stuff better with more precision. The more precise you are, the higher your chance of survival in real fights. So.